Welcome one, welcome all, welcome to another exciting episode of A Rising Sun. I am Bridger, and today we're jumping back into a very difficult time because we're really on an unusual track here. We've managed to finish fighting China, and now we've got to figure out how to take on the West. It's August of 1941. We are a little bit ahead of schedule, more than a little bit. One of the things I wanted to look at here is preparedness. Are we prepared to go after the West, specifically in the CBI theater, or I guess just the BI theater now, with regards to supply? That's interesting. I'm surprised that the infrastructure level is so high down here. It seems like local infrastructure matters less than it does outside of the mod. I'm not 100% sure, but ports in the capital is still somehow the deciding factor. I really don't get that. But here's the other thing. We do want good infrastructure, if only so that we can ensure... Ooh. We can increase that a little bit, get some more steel. If only so that we can ensure that we get good speed moving through these areas. Oh god, 7's only going to get us 2 extra oil? That's probably not worth it, in fact. We've got a lot of preparing to do. I think I should probably have it at minimum 6 down in this region. Oof, you lost most of your navy in 1940. That's a tough one, Mikey. So now what we need to do is check out air bases. How's the air base situation? We've got 7 for Siam. That's real good. We're going to need some in North Malaya. Probably going to need more than 2 here, but we'll leave it there. That's going to be very useful in that area. And... oh. Alright, so I think the other thing that would be really nice to build is a bunch of radar stations. On islands that are kind of on the important border areas here. What is this here? Wake. That's not our island at all. Marcus. Put 1 there. Yeah, we've got a lot of construction to do. I feel like the Marshals should probably have that also. I think we're getting a decent amount of airfields in the Marshals. What about we got a main naval base in the Marshals, right? I think it should be a 6 at least. That's the truck naval base. Rabaul is down here somewhere. In Bismarck. Hello, Byron. Hello, Chris. We're running the Hearts of Oak mod. I'm sorry, thank you for reminding me that. Does our mechanized general have a promotion? He does. How did you know? Oh, it's the same promotion options he's been given before. Fortress Buster or Scavenger. I'm not a huge fan of those options. Because I don't know how many fortresses we're going to have to deal with, really. I don't think we can see enemy constructed fortresses. Like, we can see all the ones that we have, but there's no good view that lets you see enemy constructed fortresses. Alright. We also are training our air forces. It occurs to me that I'd probably want to get all the newly constructed ships. These are the ones that I've actually chosen to build, not the ones that came with the Navy at the start of the campaign. They probably need some training as well. Actually, 2 of these are the ones that came with the original group. But that having been said, I think we're going to have them set to training. That's going to cost us a lot of fuel for a little while. And that's okay, because we're also training our air forces here. And we can probably stop that. They're at least at regulars. I feel like maybe the air forces on the carrier should also be training. Can't perform missions while the carrier's docked in a port. Huh. Okay. Well, whatever. They'll get their experience eventually. Wow. Super... Well, that's right. When you load up a game, this is often incorrect. You need to give it a tick for it to get correct. Outdated equipment. Yes, we're still building the Kashi. Now, what is this? Heavy fighters. Yes, we don't have any heavy fighters, but we researched them right before the end of the last scenario. And we're not going to necessarily need a lot of them, but I'm guessing there's going to be places where our regular fighters just do not have the range to get. So I'd like to get a lot of factories working on those. I don't have the opportunity to build a lot more factories, so it's going to be problematic. You know what? As far as oil goes, that's going to make this the last one that we're building, just so we can get further down this list faster. I think same with civilian. This will be the last civilian factory we're building for a little while. And then once those 2 are done, we'll start crunching through these. Now, these are all... They're less expensive than these things up here. I still feel like I'm... Well, Southern Indochina. We're improving the infrastructure there. Because of... Oh, that's right. Because of the rubber that's there. And if we need more rubber, we can change the occupation policy of that area. But there's also... All of these resources are slowly going to continue to increase. Not by much. The infrastructure damage has mostly been repaired. But I think we're in good shape there. Okay, so now we've got to figure out. I'm not going to declare war on the United States, but if they're in the Allies, then there's nothing I can do about it. I don't know what gets them in the Allies. Maybe Britain has a focus that can only take place once Japan's at war or something. I don't know how this is handled in this mod. So we're going to have to work from a historical model and take some kind of precaution against all eventualities. What that means is I'm going to largely be declaring war on the Brits and the Dutch East Indies and have that be my main plan, but I'm going to have a backup plan to invade the Philippines as needed. Oh... That's just such a big task. I have a decent amount of forces here with which to do it. Yeah, Germany is a decent place to start as long as you ignore the naval thing, with the exception of maybe some subs. Though I think Russia's probably a better place to start, if only because you have very little that you can do about events. You just got to prepare for them and then try to do your best when they come around. So my heavy artillery is still 2 years away from catching up because I suddenly just dumped like 40 new divisions from China and mostly from Manchuria and converted them all into defense divisions, which I've given heavy artillery because they're going to be sitting on these islands static. Heavy artillery's major drawback is that it's not very mobile. So, putting them on the islands gives them a big punch if somebody tries to invade the island without, proper authority. The army is defending territory, yeah. So, 47, it says the minimum it needs is 30. I'd like to have 60. on those islands to give them more than double them, to give them at least double the minimum. Okay. Let's get our armies in position. We're going to need an army to invade Malaya down to Singapore. We're going to need an army on this border. Actually, oh wow, it's a lot bigger now. Thanks to China capitulating. Oh no, I'm sorry. This, except for this spot, the whole border here is all impassable. Okay, that makes it a little bit less scary. There is a little area here. If we could push through there, that would be nice. You know what? That's where our mountain troops are going. And their goal is to punch through there and get across the river. If they can do it fast enough, there won't be anybody on the other side of the river to stop them that hasn't already been retreating. So that's a good job for our mountain division, or mountain army. And we've got a couple more of them coming out, right? Yeah, we've got 3 more planned for the mountain division. They've got all the supplies they need, so they'll be out and start training by September. Okay, so that's where we're putting the mountain division. We're going to want to use our mainline armies over here, because I think we're going to need our light armies for invading these areas, the Indonesian islands and Borneo and all the Dutch East Indies. The infrastructure there is just going to be terrible. So, I'm going to take the first army and give them the task of Malaya and Singapore. Oh, that's a weird way to visualize it, but okay. Once they take that, we'll just give them the... Oh, okay. This is all one? Got it. Got it. Okay. Main army number 2 is going to go from... There it is. Here to here. And their goal is probably going to be rush across this river, if possible. I don't know if they're going to make it, but that's their goal. That's a pretty big river. That's going to be tough to cross. We might need at least 1 or 2 Marines to help with that. And yet, our Marines are almost certainly going to be required to take the important ports so that the light army can rush in. So that suggests I want the light armies standing by in a position to do so. And I think the best ports for invading the Dutch East Indies would be here. So that's Light Army 1, and here's Light Army 2. Now, this burgeoning Army number 3 that doesn't quite exist yet, they're going to be the Philippines force that invades the Philippines. Philippines probably has slightly higher infrastructure. We can actually check that. Yes, the Philippines has slightly better infrastructure. Now, when it comes to invading these other islands, besides the main island with Manila on it, that'll be a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. And you know what else is? We're missing somebody to occupy all of these ports. Actually, there's only the 2, right? It's Hong Kong and whoever the Portugal one is. Macau. I don't know if we're going to war with Portugal. Do we have to go to war with Portugal? Is Portugal a member of the Allies? We might just be able to ignore Portugal. Not in a faction. But anyway, we might... if we had all of these guys on this border. We have a non-aggression pact with the Soviets, so let's use these guys here. And I don't know if they'll be able to take it. They might not. And if they can't, then we'll use elements of the Third Army. But in the meantime, the Third Army is going to be stationed here. And it's growing. We're going to double its size here in a second. Okay. Now, the Marines are going to have very specific tasks. The Marines are 30 width, so 4 of them is a full push against a port. The question is, we don't know which of these ports are well defended, if any. And it's like, they're also terrible ports. Like, this can only do 6 supply. How in the hell are we going to take over this whole island when something can only do 6 supply? Meanwhile, down in the Dutch East Indies, this is 1. That's 6. That's the big one for this island. I don't know if you can trace supply across a strait like that. I think you must be able to, though. They've got other ports. Is this the big one over here? Nope, that's still only 1, 1, and 2. So, North Borneo here, Brunei, is the only logical insertion point. And when we do invade, we're going to need to build up that infrastructure as fast as possible, build some better ports. I do wish there was some way that you could prepare for that, like Mulberry style, like have some kind of temporary supply source after a naval invasion that lasts for like a month so that you have time to build up some naval ports. Yeah, Japan is usually a beast. I haven't played vanilla Japan in a long time. This time I managed to do it, but who knows how much of that has to do with the mod and how much of it has to do with my capabilities. So anyway, that brings us back here. I think this port... No, sorry. Batavia here. Seems very important. If we can capture that... I mean, it's 5 victory points, obviously. It's probably going to be decently defended. Are we getting 2 more Marines? We're getting 1 more Marine. Yeah, we are getting 2 more Marines. We could actually get more than that. I would like to have 8, because then we could have full pushes against the enemy. Can we get 10? Wow, we can get more than 10. Ten seems like good for Marines, though. So let's add another 2 mountain divisions. It's interesting how many special forces we can have, because we went down the thing that gave us an extra 2% of our divisions as special forces, and we got that special decision, one of these, form rating regiment, special forces capacity modifier 2%. Now, we still haven't done favor the Army or favor the Navy. Favor the Army actually pulls back a little bit on how much we're favoring the Navy. I think that's probably a good idea. So we're slightly balancing out the inter-service rivalry. It's not quite so bad. Alright, anyway. Back to this. The main most important invasion is going to be down to here, I think. And we're going to want at least 1 more invasion with the Marines, and it's going to be into Borneo. So let's set that up. And when the other Marines pop out of the production, they're going to get added to here, probably. We'll have 2 Marines left that might be used in taking the Philippines. We might move these around at some point. Okay. And then we need the light. Just be in position and be ready to go to these ports as soon as the Marines make a push and take them. We don't want them to attack. I mean, we could attack all the ports simultaneously, too. We've got so much capacity. I'm just concerned that we'd get turned away at a bunch of them. And we wouldn't be able to supply everything. So that's a decent start. We're going to get everybody on the borders that we need them to be on. All right, so let's start time ticking here. Can you use transports to help with supply? Transports automatically send supply, but their capacity is limited by the size of the naval base in the region. So the fact that this is only a naval base level 2 means that we can only send 6 supply in through this port. It doesn't really matter what the capacity of this port is, or what the capacity of our ports back home are. All that matters is the capacity of the receipt. Well, it does matter what the home port. The home ports are way, way above it. So it's Speaking of, do we have any Kyushu ones set up? I don't think we need them, but it might be like a stretch goal, so to speak. Get one more port there. Now, it still says we need a lot of steel, huh? Should we buy it from the Soviet Union? I don't think so. We buy it back from Germany. There we go. That gets everybody going at full speed again. Now, our dockyards are about to spit out a couple of carriers. That's good. We've already got them set up the way that we want them. The other Yamato-class battleship is ready to come out in March of 1942. We're also building cruisers. We really need to take a moment and look at our Navy once this is done training. Let's let them train at least to level 2 or 3. Oh, you're talking about the airfield? You can do air supply. I don't have any air transports. I thought about researching them and then trying to get some, because you're right. You can do some air supply, but it only gives an extra 2 or 3 points. Now, even with all this training, our fuel is still growing. That's great. And we're also, are we still in the process? Yeah, we're still expanding the oil fields in Manchuria. So that'll add an extra 8 fuel for us. We did add an extra bunch of fuel up here. Super awesome. Did we already add the infrastructure? No. That'll add a lot more fuel. I gotta make sure I remember to do all that, because these areas need it. We don't really need anything except for steel at the moment, and oil. So I think we're good. Southern Indochina is going to be done fairly quickly. Infrastructure's quite good. And in fact, we don't need that much in the way of rubber, so I'm going to stop that at that spot. So there we go. Those 2 will be gone soon. And then it'll roll on down. We'll finally start building these airfields and the infrastructure and the radar stations. And yeah, there's a lot to do. One of the reasons I like building lots of civilian factories at the beginning of the game is there's always so much I want to do. I mean, I want coastal forts in all of those areas with the very important naval bases. This one already has 5. I don't know what the max level is. It says it's 6. That might be it, period. That might just be the mod. They decided, 5 and 6 are enough. All right, here we go. We can finally get second modernization. It will decrease the production cost of our light tanks, medium tanks, transport vehicles, mechanized infantry equipment, pack artillery, and regular artillery. However, it lowers our stability and construction speed by 10%. Ugh. Probably worth it. We'll get more construction speed on the industrial option here in the near future. Let's take a look at what's going on in Europe. We haven't been over there in a bit. Looks like Germany is making progress into the Soviet Union. Pretty steady progress since they declared war earlier this year. Look at Legionary Romania taking a big chunk of Yugoslavia there. The Spanish Civil War is still happening. That's insane, right? Because they still have this awful Spanish Civil War penalty, the weather penalty. There's supposed to be decisions that let you remove that for an offensive in each area. But, damn, they're just attriting themselves to death. Let's speed it up to speed 3. I just don't want to get caught here. I want to make sure I'm remembering to do all the things that need to be done. Anti-tank upgrade, you say. And we'll do an anti-air upgrade as well. Oh, special equipment is now really behind. Crap. Because yeah, I kind of started building too many of those guys at the same time. Maybe we'll do this. Just have 2 Marines built at a time. That lowers the penalty quite a bit. Well, not the penalty, but the deficit. Oh, and somebody just popped out, so a huge, huge amount of special equipment just became required. We'll add at least 1 factory there. We didn't need any factories there for a long time because we were we had stopped building any new Marines. So we now have better amphibious tanks. I don't think we want to bother building Amtrak battalions. This is mechanized Marines. I think just like regular tank, just because we don't have the capacity for it. Like we don't have the we just don't have enough. Oh, we should really do this for special forces. Because we can get even more special force capacity, or, and I'm trending in this direction. Oh, minimum capacity versus capacity multiplier. Defense and organization. We don't need to increase the multiplier. I think we give them advanced training to increase their defense and organization. There's a lot of stuff to research right now. But yeah, we had started a line of amphibious tanks, which we need to upgrade. We have a decent amount of army experience. Let's see if we can even get improved amphibious tank. Well, we can't do all of them. Let's just do level 1 across the board for now. Increases reliability, armor, everything. Yeah. Oh, damn. Those are medium tanks, too. So at some point, what we're going to do is go to our Marines and remove a couple of infantry battalions and add a couple of... hang on. Oh, special forces is what they're considered. Amphibious tank battalions. I don't think we have enough produced yet to even come close. No, we only have 32 produced. We need 423 just to add 1 to each division. Ah. You can join what I've termed the Manchurian Defense, but really this is the special reserve. Strategic reserve composed entirely of crappy divisions that I've gotten from China. Now we can develop a lot of aluminum if we wanted to. don't think we really need to. We've also got the ability to do factory output reduction at the benefit of dockyards and vice versa. I don't really want to do that. Uh-oh. This region has too many people. Okay, you know what? I don't think we can put both of these divisions in the same place. So I think somebody's going to go over here. So let's put him here instead. And this one is local infrastructure. And I think I'm already building infrastructure there to help. Yes, I'm getting it at least up to level 6, so the local infrastructure isn't too bad. We've actually got 8 infrastructure here in Siam. That's pretty good. Need to move your aircraft carriers to cover the assault. Yep, that's true. Are we not going to exercise the Marine Division? I mean, the Marines are already good. They're fully exercised. They've got full veterancy. Everybody else, this is my training army. It's just constantly exercising, and anybody that's produced automatically joins it and starts exercising. So I just check it every once in a while. When somebody's at, you know, veteran status or whatever the highest status is for training, I then move them to the army they need to go to. But, by the way, Benny, if you want to look cool, you don't abbreviate aircraft carriers as AC, you abbreviate them as CV. Why? I don't know, but you do. CV is the official Navy designation for aircraft carriers. Battleships are BB, destroyers are DD, heavy cruisers are CA, and light cruisers are CL. And then there's CVL for light carriers and CVE for escort carriers if you really want to get technical. Alright, so we're winding into September here. We're way behind on our construction queue. But we're finally going to be done with this civilian factory in the 8th of September. That'll open up a whole new line. And I guess at the end of this whole thing, I'm going to put a bunch more civilian factories. We have so much chromium in Kyushu there. Attritional containment. Okay, we can get the final land doctrine, infiltration and depth. Increases our recon and reinforcement rate plus 4%. That's pretty good. But I think we might start construction 5, just because if you look, we're just so far behind on construction, but that's too far ahead of time. We're getting some air. We got 1940 air for both naval and land. We're getting close to 1942, though. So maybe we want newer fighters. We currently have Mitsubishi, right? Yeah, so light aircraft fighters. Although, do we have one that'll do heavy? Heavy aircraft designer. That's only for strategic bombers, not heavy fighters. Oh, here we go. This one would increase the range and reliability of heavy fighters. So I wonder if before we finish this research, we switch over to something else, and we'll come back to this once we get that. Let's get better close air support, too. Because I need 150 to switch over from Mitsubishi, but I don't want to switch over from Mitsubishi yet. So I might lose some research progress there. All right, let's take a look at our air forces that are training. Oh, we stopped them from training, that's right. Everybody, all the other air forces that are over here probably have some levels of veterancy. No, I thought they were fighting. They didn't really get any veterancy while they were fighting. That's kind of bizarre. Some of them did. Okay, these ones did a little bit. But let's get them off of green. Green is... Or they're rookies, I'm sorry. These ones are green. And navally, these guys are still rookies. We're trying to get them to at least experience level 3. Alright, so we've got one army waiting in this port, one army waiting in this port. The Marines have planned their invasion. We're going to get a few more Marines coming out. Deploying soonish. No, because they're waiting on special equipment. Let's give them higher priority over the Mountaineer divisions. And the infantry aren't waiting on anything. That's good. How's our infantry equipment? We have good armored car reserves. We have some AT reserves and flak reserves. Eventually, I want to add AT and flak to all of our infantry divisions as, like, support companies. Infantry equipment is okay. It's not great. Transport vehicles can probably get a big boost because I think we are in a position now where we can improve our mechanized divisions. We've already done it 3 times. We can do it again. Mechanized infantry battalion. Yep, we can do it here, here, and here. Perfect. We'll get 1,200 transport vehicles back. So these guys just got stronger. And do I build more of these? I don't know where I'm going to use these mechanized divisions. Maybe if we manage to break out into hills. Here's plains. If we manage to break... I mean, it looks like here, actually, would be a great place for my mechanized to push through. There's a bunch of plains there. So that's where I'm going to set them up right now. They're also going to be set up over here. They're probably not going to be used to go into those mountains. But once the mountaineers punch through, we want them to rush to the other side and maybe get over this river. And now, you know, I'm thinking, now that I probably have enough mechanized, I can probably stop producing mechanized regular infantry and start producing mechanized marine infantry. So we can make our Marines super strong. Oh, AC is aircraft. You're talking about the carrier aircraft. I understand now. A spare Marine division in the strategic... Oh, yeah. What is that doing over there? Huh. Must have moved there by accident. Okay. Thank you for that. I missed it. So that means I've got... Okay. So do I have 2 in here? No, I only have 1. I thought I calculated to have exactly 10 Marines, but it appears I miscalculated. So, oh, I did. No, here we go. Okay, this one is going to do 1 more time. This is going to do 2 more times. That's the 3 we need. Okay, got it. And then we're going to stop building special forces for a while because we are out of special forces equipment. We'll be able to add more, probably Marines. I don't know if we're going to need more than... We've got 3 mountain divisions there. We've got 3 in training, and we've got 2 more. We'll have 8 mountain divisions. That means they can attack 2 provinces at the same time. Or from 2 directions, 3 directions at the same time, basically. So that's a pretty good number. And mountain divisions, you know what? Actually, mountain divisions, they are 30 width. Okay. Well, we're going to wait on that because we do need more special equipment before we decide whether we're going to build more mountain divisions or more marine divisions. We've got light tank 3. We've got armored car 3 built. Infantry trucks, we're building fewer of them, but we've got a lot that just got returned to the stockpile. Is there anything else we're building too much of? Radio equipment seems okay, but we still need to research the next level of radio equipment. We do have... What is it telling me I have? Oh, I got to click on the thing and then go get rid of it. There we go. It's also telling me I have a new ship type. These ones here. I've already done stuff with these. It just wants me to see them. There we go. Cleared it. Cleared the flag. Alright, so 1, 2. This can go into our nascent Philippine army. But you're right, I don't know why you can't train aircraft carrier aircraft while the carriers are in port. That seems kind of weird, right? Why can't they train while they're in port? So we just have to send the carrier out doing nothing? I guess. Or I wonder, if the carrier is training, are the aircraft on it training? I don't think so. Because they're all still green. So let's find the other... that was my... Which fleet was that? That was the Bravo fleet. Let's go to Alpha Fleet. They're up here. So we'll send them out to sea as well. And we'll get their aircraft training. And technically, Charlie Fleet should probably do that too. Oh, actually, here we go. Good. We can do carrier naval bombers. No, we want that at, damn it. Ay, ay, ay. I forgot that when we had refitted our carriers, we need to change the amount of planes on them. So Charlie Force has been fixed. Here we go. The Hosho can actually support more aircraft carriers as well. Or more planes, rather. So we'll make that 40. And I don't think we needed to refit the Alpha battle fleet. I'm pretty sure that has maxed. Yep, that has 120. And we've got a couple more here we're going to add to this. So we're right now losing fuel. But that's okay, because as soon as we stop this exercising, we'll gain fuel back at a very high rate. And I think we're almost done with those naval exercises. These guys have mostly managed to get their certifications as trained. We've got a couple more that joined. But I think we're probably done with this exercising. Let's give them another little while. Yeah, these all ticked over, including the Yamato. The Hiryu. This is a brand new aircraft carrier, actually. Magnetic detonator. We don't care about that. What we do care about is we've got infantry stuff we've got to catch up on here. I think... Damn it, I don't have enough. Alright. Tactical bombers need to be caught up on. There's so much air research to do. Oh, we gained a new couple of divisions from China. All right. Now, submarine surface detection and submarine organization. I do want our submarines to be effective. Huh. Let's keep going down the doctrine, the naval doctrine there. Alright, we gained another one that can go out to the Island Defense Army. Meanwhile, the Island Defense Army, I'm still kind of waiting for them to catch up on heavy artillery before I have them train. Once that deficit gets down a little bit more, we'll train them up. So there's still... the Soya-class cruisers are not being produced. We started work on another... Aso-class... Or no, we started work on 2 more Aso-class carriers, because this one's almost out. This is the other Yamato. We're still producing destroyers at a decent clip. And what about light cruisers? Where's my light cruiser production? Am I producing any light cruisers right now? I guess we got to go check it out, but let's do this first. Special Forces Division, done that. Marine 4. It's a little bit ahead of time, but might be better. Let's get this. It'll be all Special Forces. Increase quality. So where were we? Damn it, I lost my place. I was just doing something that I thought was pretty important. Training? Is that what I was looking at? Oh, that's right. Naval. So where are my light cruisers at? Here's my light cruiser. Here's a for light cruisers, we need Yahagis being produced. I don't think we have any. No. Because the difference between these is that this one is specifically for patrolling, and this one is to accompany fleets. And this is a heavy cruiser. We're producing submarines. How often are we producing submarines? 11 per year. We can probably dial back on that a little bit. We have quite a few submarines already, and I don't know how much we're going to need them at the early part of the war, so I think we're good on that. Destroyers, yeah. We could probably peel back a little bit on convoy Guardian destroyers. We've got a lot of those produced now. And these are destroyers for the fleet. I think we're going to... Let's see how many we have, actually, before we decide how that's going to work out. We're going to stop training there. We're going to put them all into reserve. Now, fleet destroyers. We can see we've got a bunch of those right here. This has max capacity. This has max capacity. This... We could give them a few more. Okay, in that case, we've got a lot of fleet destroyers in reserve. A bunch of those are going to need to join the brand new modern fleet. But we're most of the way there. What that means is we don't need 2 lines of fleet destroyers anymore. So once this... actually, let's make it this one. Once this one's complete, we'll get 10 factories freed up to help with the heavy cruiser and the light cruisers down here. So that should be good enough. We're finally at a position where I feel fairly confident in our naval production capabilities. I'm always going to want more, I'm sure, but for now, we're pretty good. Okay. So that having been said, we've stopped training naval forces. We're still training air forces. Specifically, our naval air forces are training. We're going to try to get them above this. We have insufficient steel for the new situation, huh? There we go. All right, now that we stopped training the fleet, our fuel is going to fill up a lot faster. But still not fast enough. We're consuming... Wow, we're consuming a lot per day. The air is doing a lot of training. Okay. Once we stop that training, we'll be good then. So, we currently have a... artillery arsenal, which is going to improve the design of our anti-air and anti-tank. So we do want to research that while we have that chosen. And we want to modify the government to not Mitsubishi after our fighter has finished, after our carrier fighter has finished research. Then we'll switch over to something that is better for heavy fighters. Yeah, probably the heavy fighter one. Make sure our heavy fighters are good, too. If you're going to invest in air technology, fighters is a good place to do it. The good news about this border is it collapses down to a very thin line fairly quickly. So we need a lot of troops in that border right up until we don't. And once the Singapore campaign is done, we'll free up an entire army. Albeit only 21 troops because of the general's requirement. I wonder if I should do the same thing for the second army here and give them an infantry expert thing. I think I should. It lowers the maximum divisions the general can do, but 15% increase is pretty good. So let's bring 3 of these over into this, and then we'll need 3 fewer on the infantry division here. So let's just do that, and we'll be maybe 1 short at the end. These guys are still training. And this army, we haven't picked a commander for this army, but this army's going to be the full 24, probably. Old Guard is no good. Politically connected means he can be promoted quickly and easily. We may need another field marshal. So promoting this guy might be the right way to do it. That'll give us an option for another field marshal at least. Is there? Yeah, there's another level 3 guy that's an infantry leader, so he gets more experience leading infantry. That's pretty good. And again, we're short on... Damn it. I thought that conquering China would solve all of our woes. What is going on? What's going on is we're building more and more factories. It's an insatiable thing. Yes. Kajita95 said it's very fitting that you use Chinese divisions to retake Hong Kong from the British. So it is. Alright, so the good news is I'm going to keep building these defense divisions because you know there's going to be places that once I take all of these Dutch East Indies, I'm going to need to spread out my defense divisions in them to defend those ports. So right now they're all over here, and I'm going to probably need to send some over here once we get that set. Alright, so how's the air training going? I think I got to stop it for some of these. This is Alpha Battle Fleet. Let's give... Where's Charlie Battle Fleet? Is that... Charlie's down here, I think. Let's go ahead and stop them and send Charlie back to port. And then this is Bravo. Because I want to get my fuel back. Let's go ahead and stop Bravo and send them back to port. Wait a minute. Oh, this is the reserve fleet. That's right. So the reserve fleet should probably train its planes too. Jeez, just training those planes is 3.3 thousand per day. Am I training other air? Yes. No? Maybe these guys... Oh, I was training all these guys over here. That's right. So they're good. They're good. They're good. And they are good. There we go. That'll fix our fuel problem, I think. Oh, we've got some down here that never trained. Ay, ay, ay. Every time I think I figured it out. Alright. And these guys are almost trained. As soon as these guys tick over, which they will in a moment. There it is. Now they're done. Go back into port. We gained a new... Oh, geez, needs modern machine tools to get the next level of that. Infantry recovery rate. Light infantry and garrisons get increased recovery rate. I think we're getting in position to research 1942 rifles. which also is going to require some political power. Second modernization has been taking us 105 days. I've been waiting for that. Now, do we go... Oh, we can expand these oil fields. 40! Holy moly. Yeah? Are you kidding me? Why do we need the Dutch East Indies for? I mean, what do they have? 30, 60? 90? Okay, never mind. They've got more than I thought. But still. Once I take them, they're going to be producing a lot less because of the occupation problem. Alright, so we're in good shape there. Let's speed up this. Moving along. I gotta save all this political power to change over a few things in my government. Once the research is done. Uh-oh. Well, there it is. So now's the question. Can I pull off a Pearl Harbor? They don't actually have the range. If I send no destroyers, I could do it. Oh, I've actually not assigned any commanders here. Sure, Yamamoto can be our main guy. I think I want battleship... Well, battleship adherent means your AA is lower. That's not actually great. Oh, but his AA attack is higher. Okay. I do like capital ship armor, too. I think Kondo is going to be my guy for my modern fleet. For Alpha and Bravo, it'll be these two 5s. Charlie's already got a guy. I don't know if I have enough to start building the modern fleet. Let's find out. I think I do. You managed to invite America to your faction as what power? As UK? More steel is required. The war machine goes on and on. I am currently in the process of trying to increase my steel output by building infrastructure here. But oh, okay, hang on. There's some ore deposits here. But oh, that's right. The only ore deposits we can get are in the Philippines. And they don't start with any ore. There's none there. I have to build them. Are you playing with the Hearts of Oak mod too, Mikey, or are you playing the vanilla game? There we go. Now we've got 4 mountain divisions ready to go push through that gap. November of 41. I do not feel ready. Not at all. I would really like to get a big chunk of these things completed. I want radar on those islands. I haven't even built any coastal forts yet. There's a focus for building coastal forts. Well, this is actually something else. Oh, I get the event Strike Pearl Harbor. There it is. I was wondering how they did this. There's the coastal forts, but that's only for the main... That's the main area. That's not any of the islands. There's not too many more that I have to go through here, but I did want those oil fields in Manchuria fixed up. Alright, are we almost done with these fighters? No, man, it's taken a long time for this one. We're a little ahead of time, but... Soviet Union launches a winter offensive. November of 41, right on time. Actually, no. Holy crap. November of 41, the Germans are supposed to be here. Well, December they're supposed to be here. November they were like here. So they have been making slower progress than history. We'll see how that goes. I'm buying a lot of steel from them. I hope they put those factories to good use. I can't afford this. I need to save all of my political power. Because as soon as I finish my AT guns and my anti-air, I want to swap it over to infantry. And I want to swap my fighters over. The Finnish government has decided to join Germany against the Soviet Union. So that opens up a new front. That'll help Germany. Oh man, I think maybe we might finally see the nationalists prevail. I wonder if this mod screws up the Civil War. Or if the AI is not properly using the decisions to launch offensives to remove this huge penalty. Because it shouldn't be as bad as it is. Aha. 2 more mountain divisions ready to go. What else are we waiting to deploy? Okay, we got a bunch of infantry ready to pop into the hopper, so to speak. Ooh. The United States declared war on the French state? I think they mean Vichy France. But that's weird, right? Isn't France... I think the United Kingdom is probably hosting France as like a damn it, I want to see the big list. Where's the... Oh, there we go. Country list. Vichy France is here. I'd assumed that the French government would have been a government in exile. But I guess not. Unless it's not listed under Europe. It would be under Democratic for sure, though. Free France, there it is. Which is at war with Germany. So then the United States must have declared war on Vichy France, right? Let's see if that's right. Yes. Annexed selected state. They're also at war with all the powers that the United Kingdom is at war at. Interestingly, the United Kingdom did not go to war with Vichy France. That's why that was unusual. United States is just like, screw it, they're out, they're enemies. Whoa, oh, because they wanted to launch Torch in 41? Are you crazy? You can't you can't be more effective in Europe because then there might be more power to come hit me in 44. Gulp. So the Vichy have joined the Axis officially now. United States launched Torch. See, there's a lot of pre-programmed stuff in this to make sure it goes according to history, which I would say makes this mod interesting to play once for each of the major powers, and then I wouldn't necessarily want to play it again for a long time. Gulp. Yeah. So I'm really not ready to invade the Philippines yet. I don't have the Marines to do it, and to do the Dutch East Indies at the same time. They're supposed to be popping out of the thing here in January of 42. Like, is there a value to striking the United States at Pearl Harbor early? I don't know. I'm about to get a lot more oil. Speaking of which, have we stopped training the air forces we don't need to train? How about these guys? These guys are almost done. And the naval forces... I thought we had these guys out in order to train them, but I guess we took them back for some reason. There we go. This is the stuff that makes up the modern fleet, for the most part. We can train it a little bit more while it's out there. The Air Forces are training and we're training, I think. I think they can both train at the same time. Ah, perfect. So we know we also need to get this AA gun before we switch over. We gained more forces for the strategic reserve. Outdated equipment in production. Ah, our air support. Close air support 4. We don't have quite enough air experience to change it, but that's okay. We don't actually have any close air support. There we go. Okay. That's our only close air support squadron. They should probably train. They don't have a big range. They don't have a huge range. I can probably use them in Malaya. Nope, don't have any airfields down there. Crap. We have 4 being built. But we need to crank that up to the top of the list. We probably don't need 4. Let's just do 3. We'll have 600 planes down there. We'll build more later if we absolutely need it. Ah, basic amphibious tractor. I do want to start building these, and I'm going to do it at expense of mechanized. Because we now have enough mechanized, basically, to have fulfilled our almost all of it. Oops, wrong thing. That's a motorized. I want to change out the last non-mechanized battalion. And we have plenty available, so that's good. So we've increased our armor, we've increased our hardness, all kinds of good stuff. We're still holding this political power in reserve for swapping out 2 different design companies basically at the same time here. Yeah. Chuckles. I'm in danger. The United States is a scary thing to concern ourselves with. The Dutch allied, yeah, we can't attack them without declaring war on the Brits and the United States, which was, you know, that's just how things go. So we've got to set, like, a real date. We have to pick a date and do it. Is it, like, summer? Do we want to be invading these islands in the summer? Is that like a really bad idea? We should get vehicle radios. I keep thinking we need to get more radios. I don't know how many factories to leave mechanical rangefinder. I feel like I already have that. I swear I had the option to add a 15% bonus. Oh, we have a bonus that'll significantly speed up our research. We should probably do that. But, yeah, let's go take a quick look here. Fire Control 2. Yeah. Type 98 DCT computer. Seems like I already have that unlocked for some reason. Bizarre. How bizarre? Very bizarre. I kind of wish if these advanced fire controls would, like, not just get better, but also worse with reliability. Could we, like, at some point start making reliability go up and just not get better? That would be nice. Ooh, new type of radar. I don't have any static anti-air. I probably should have static anti-air in a bunch of places. But again, giant list of to-do things that we can't get through in time. How's our... Okay. we're doing pretty good on naval dockyards. I think we're actually done with naval dockyards for now. Let's just get 2 more to fulfill the last 2 missing pieces here. And we'll redistribute these as needed as we go. So we've explored the oil fields. We probably should get the coastal fort marine technology. This doesn't go anywhere. This strengthens the fleet air arm. It changes inter-service rivalry again. Do I maybe just want to not come down this direction? Strengthen divine wind. I think we're okay there. Operation Z. Ah, yeah, so that happens when we start getting enemies coming in. We get a lot faster construction speed on forts. So exploit the southern research area means we need to own Singapore, North Borneo, Sumatra. And all it does, well, it gets us a bunch of aluminum and then potentially gets us more stuff in the prospect of resource decisions. And then reestablish naval doctrine gives us some free dockyards and fuel silos. The war demands an old naval district be opened up for producing, repairing, and maintaining our current fleet. So that's all true. Long lance torpedoes, torpedo screen penetration, that's good. Fleet submarines. Cruiser submarine hulls, that's kind of cool. A torpedo cruiser? Dedicate a whole class of ships to carrying huge numbers of our torpedoes. I can kind of already do it, but okay. Unrestricted submarine warfare gives us big research bonus, actually. So there's lots of good stuff in this tree. But do we want to start our strike on the southern route? That's 35 days away. I don't think we're ready for that. Let's go long lance torpedoes and we'll reevaluate in 35 days. We've got 1 more marine division. Now, the new one needs to plan an invasion of Manila, I think. The thing is, as soon as this war breaks out, we're not going to be able to import 120 steel from Germany anymore. We can probably import it from the Soviet Union, which would probably be not... I mean, the problem is, no. You know what? Let's watch. If we do this, I bet you it's going to go by sea, like up to here for some reason. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why it does that. Yeah, look. Why are we getting our steel from there? What? There's a railroad line. It's like right here. Just like take it from across the border. We have to defend this against the Americans if we want to get steel from the Soviet Union. I can't even. I don't get it. What is going on? Yeah. So, oh, we're getting 10 from... Why would we get 10? That's bizarre. I guess you get 10 per each? As opposed to 8 in the... Oh. And for some reason, we have a ton of steel available. That must be because we finished getting those upgrades to the infrastructure in those areas. Yeah. Okay. This is producing a lot more now. And we're using the forced labor on it. I think we're using the forced labor here too. We're not, but we could. Although our compliance strength is helping, 15% increased resources. Compliance, the People's War. It's really annoying that that modifier is still there even after we conquered them, but alright, whatever. Is that because they have a People's War here? Can't I tell my puppet, hey, stop doing the People's War? There it is. Maybe if I'd annexed them completely, that would have gone away. But I then would have had to garrison this huge area. Which, yeah, maybe not would have been so bad, but... Let's see. We're about to go to war and fight naval battles. This seems like a good one to get. Now, I do have some mine layers. Should I have them laying mines? Oh, you must be at war. And if I should, where should they be? South China Sea? They get an invasion penalty, naval speed, and accident chance increases wherever you put it. Anyway, I'm sorry, we were looking at the Philippines. This is not an... So Manila is literally the only place we can invade because it's got a decent port. So that having been said, I think what we need to do is plan a new invasion of Manila. And put at least 4 divisions behind it. Now we've only got 1 going in here. And we've only got 2 going down there. We might just send some regular divisions with them. Detach them temporarily from their current positions in order to send a full force. Yeah, I think that's exactly what we're going to do. So the first army is responsible for Borneo, and the second will be for Java and the rest of the Dutch East Indies here. Sumatra, that's the one I'm thinking of. So let's send 1, 2, 3. Have them redeployed to the British, or to the Marines here. Actually, I think we only need 2 here. So they're temporarily going to be reassigned. In fact, actually, these guys are only 20 width, right? So we actually need another one. And I think we need 1 more after that, to be honest, just in case. Now, the four divisions of Marines going to Manila, they're 30 width, so that's the max for this mod. If I strike Pearl Harbor early, as in 2 months ago, I'll have time to build up my island defenses. I mean, I've got lots of island defenses, don't get me wrong. They're there. Oh, good, we're getting lots more fuel now. Wow, wow! Expanding that oil field in northern Manchuria just about almost doubled our fuel production. That's crazy. I'm going to tack on an extra refinery to the end of this. Just because I'm sure I'm going to forget it later. So now we're producing plenty of mechanized amphibious forces, and we've got some marine tanks, but not enough yet to add them to the main rotation. So this is the last 4 infantry divisions coming out here. These guys are missing heavy artillery still, we know that. Heavy artillery is still down by 257. Whew. Okay, but if we're going to go to war soon, we need these guys training. I want all those guys that we moved out, they need to train to veteran, or whatever the experienced is. When these guys get to experience, that's when we're clicking the button. It is decided. We'll pull 1 more factory from Germany while we still can. Oh, now These aren't done yet, but this is almost done. Mexico joins the Allies. What? You gotta be kidding me. Got another mountain division there. Another division to throw into here. Oh, how? Oh! Somehow, my Marines are getting dumped into the wrong place. I see. Ah, I didn't give them the proper order, so that's why they're getting dumped into a random place. And yet, a dual-purpose gun doesn't seem to have dual purposes to me. Outdated equipment, it's the AT gun? Yeah. We still have 3 million manpower that we have not mobilized yet. I could field a lot more, I guess. I just don't have the equipment for it. Where's my infantry equipment sitting? Why is it so far down? 22,000 is... I feel okay about that. Horse equipment at 16 is actually really, really plenty, right? I could probably afford one fewer of those. I'm going to say yes. All my artillery actually needs upgrades. My infantry definitely needs upgrades. Huge amount of them need to upgrade to Infantry Kit 3. But aren't we about to research Infantry Kit 4? Like, real soon? Yeah. Infantry all get plus 10% to their HP. The Japanese Garand. Oh, that's interesting. That's the main thing. So that's nice, but the main thing is that over Rifle Type 1, what did we get? Defense goes up a little bit, breakthrough goes up 20%, soft attack goes up a little less than 30%, hard attack goes up 40%. Those are all big numbers, actually. Production cost doesn't go up that much in the long run. All right. So let's check. We have some people training air. Don't need to be training anymore. You're good. These guys, good. All right. So theoretically, we need to find... These guys need to stop training. And then the air forces that are with them didn't train. Whoa! The Red Army has defeated the Finns. Finland has agreed to peace terms. They will stop any hostility and cede Petsamo. Moreover, they must kick out any German unit present in Finland. Well, that was fast. Germany's got a big problem here. Instead of going south, do we go north to protect ourselves? Because we have a focus for that. Betray the Soviets. Oh, we need to control all the stuff to the south before we go... Yeah, after you go to war with the Americans and everybody else. Then you can betray the Soviets. Yeah, okay. I know, it's a historical mod. It wants me to do that. I mean, I could... We have a non-aggression pact with them. That's right. I chose that. I chose that path. All right. These guys are still training. But let's go back to the naval situation here. Because these guys need to let the stupid air forces train. I just don't know why they can't train on land. It's so weird that they can't. It's a... What I mean to say is it's a... if the Navy is doing exercises, the Air Force that is parked on the carriers should also be part of those exercises. That's really the solution here. Now, what do we have for reserves for airplanes? That's one of the things I want to look at here. 520 fighters. That's plenty of carrier fighters. 200 close air support. We can actually form another squadron with that. We don't care about carrier CAS. That's not anywhere. Naval bombers is 425, so we can form 2 squadrons with that, and then everything else will stay in reserve. So let's do that. Let's form 2 naval bomber squadrons. I want a lot more than 2 naval bomber squadrons, but I'll take it to start with. So that's one thing. I kind of want to crank up the production of my naval bombers, if at all possible. We're still producing no scout planes. How did that happen? I want more scout planes. I don't know what they do, but they sound good. Let's just do this to make it easy. The next couple of factories should at least start on scout planes. I was hoping to have scout planes like all along these islands, giving us intel, giving us notice when the enemy was bringing in naval forces and things. I also wanted to have naval bombers all over those places. Maybe we don't. Let's see. Torpedo cruisers or submarine models. Cruiser submarine. The idea is you bring the submarines in with the fleet. Oh no, these are for, okay, fleet submarines for long, long range. But that's an interesting plan. Sure, let's start going down those paths. 14 days still for this stupid fighter, and then I need to get the carrier fighter variant before I can get off of Mitsubishi. 64 days, no, only 20 couple days before we can switch over to the infantry option for this. Infantry equipment designer means the newest version of infantry equipment will have plus 10% soft attack is not nothing. Air experience gain and air doctrine research speed. Is operational integrity doctrine, is that the one we're on? No, we're on battlefield support. Alright, we don't have any new guys here yet. This is our thing here. Once these guys get to level 5, that's when we're making it happen. I want our islands to be fully defended before we start. I would also very much like these Marines to be able to participate in the Philippine tax. And where are we on Marine tanks? Let's see. If we added Special Amphibious Tank Battalion, how many would we need? We need 470. And we only have 149, so that's not happening yet. I do, like I said, I like a lot of things this mod does, including like the changes to experience, because experience before had just massive penalties or benefits. Like if you just pop out a brand new unit, it's doing 50% less damage than if you train it. And that's crazy. And then once you actually got into combat, you would have a pretty ridiculous time trying to improve the veterancy beyond just what you would get from training. you would have to curb stomp your enemies. Whereas in this case, yeah, I did curb stomp the Chinese a lot, but I never would have made it up to like level 8. But battle hardened is actually a good number. I did put a, you know, I added a field hospital. It cost me a lot in support equipment. We remember that. But I added a field hospital to every single military unit I've got. I'm pretty sure I have. Let's double check the Mountaineers I just made. Yes, I did add a field hospital. I also added a motorized logistics company. You know what? We can add motorized logistics companies to everything, I think. Now that we got the trucks back. Mechanized logistics company. Huh. That's, okay. I didn't know that was a thing. Let's double check and see what the differences between them are. So, adds a little bit more breakthrough. And is even better at reducing supply use than the truck-based one, than the motorized one. I wonder why. I think we can probably do mechanized here then. Yeah. We don't need that many of them. So we're going to upgrade that to mechanized, and we're going to upgrade all of our others if we can afford it. I think we can, from logistics, regular logistics, to motorized logistics. Yep, we need 793, and we've got 4,000 available. So all our infantry divisions are now going to have lower supply use. That's good. And our light infantry divisions also going to have lower supply use. It's not a huge difference, but it stacks up when you get a bunch of them together. It can make a difference. As long as we've got the trucks, we should do it. And our Marines should definitely get mechanized if they can have it. Yep, plenty. I don't care about these. Those aren't things I care about, so those are going to go away. No, I don't need any of these. These were probably all the divisions I inherited from Manchuria. Alright. My defense division doesn't have a logistics company, doesn't need one. What would it cost me to increase that? Wow! It would need 31,000 additional manpower, because the manpower for each division would go up by 600. 3,000 additional infantry equipment. I think we want to do it. I really want my defense divisions on the islands to be something formidable. And increasing the organization and the HP can help. I'm going to do it. I have the manpower to spare. At some point, I actually want to add even more, like, make these 30 width divisions. Can I do that now? Should I do that now? Because what that does is it mostly adds additional manpower, but less equipment. And yet, it still gives us a lot of extra soft attack, a lot of extra hard attack, better defense, better organization, better HP. And the manpower is the thing I can spare. So that's 260,000 extra men defending these islands, but not a huge amount of extra infantry equipment in comparison because I made them all garrison brigades. I'm going to do it. Making it happen. Meanwhile, how much infantry equipment am I making every day? About 100. Gotta crank that up. Because right now, I only have 5,000 in reserve. We're not going to need to add any more here for a bit. I'd like more divisions of things other than just my defensive divisions, but All right, so we've got these plans in place. We've got both of the light armies ready to charge the Borneo and Java. We have 11 divisions ready to fight in the Philippines. Nope, we've got 15 divisions ready to fight in the Philippines. That might be enough. I mean, the Marines, once they take these ports, are probably going to be resituated to fight in the Philippines if it gets really hard. I expect the Dutch East Indies to fall relatively easily. I'm dedicating 2 whole armies to it. So if I retask an extra, you know, what do I have? 8? Nine Marine divisions. Another one's being built, but 9 Marine divisions to go to the Philippines. That should be enough to make it happen. All right. So we now need... Germany launches summer offensive in Russia. Thanks for the news brief. We need better tactical bombers still. I don't think we have a company that gives us good tactical bombers, do we? Heavy is just for strategic bombers. And then we have a naval aircraft designer. So yeah. Oh, tactical bomber reliability goes up when we do that. Okay, so let's hold off. Here's the last thing we need to do, is research that. I can't believe we fell so far behind in research. We were so far ahead, and I felt like there was a bunch of stuff that I didn't even need to do. Oh, yeah, we need to upgrade our tactical bombers. Let's do that. Although, actually, if we're going to research new tactical bombers real soon, upgrading the tactical bombers right now would reduce our factory retention for no reason. So let's avoid doing that. But what was the other thing we just unlocked? New artillery, new anti-air. We definitely do want to unlock the new anti-air. But I don't see it here. What's going on? Oh, we've got a weird bug. Okay. There it is. Anti-air 2. Alright, so these guys are still a couple of weeks away, but that's when we're going to launch our attack. We're at full up on fuel. These guys should be good at doing some exercises. These are our new developed divisions. Where are we on the construction? All right, we're getting radar started to be produced. We're still getting the last pieces of the infrastructure built in Southeast Asia. We're getting air built in Palau. Where's Palau? Oh, right, that's right. I want some air cover out on the Marshalls. Another division for the Strategic Reserve. Is this actually a decent one? Sometimes these guys have been giving me decent ones. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's not great. But it'll do. What does it have for stats? It can attack things. It can defend things. Not well, but it can do it. So, I think I'm going to hold off bomber modernization. Yeah, well, a little late for that. I'm going to hold off on doing anything here. Maybe I do construction engineering in the meantime. Let's speed up the construction engineering while we have the moment of clarity to do it. We still have a captain of industry? Forgot about that. Oh, and we have a protectionist. We have a captain of industry where? Here. We can probably change that to something more valuable. A war industrialist increases our factory output. Armaments organizer increases production efficiency cap and retention. Yeah, I think we want that armaments organizer, except this one gives dockyard construction speed. We don't really care. Yeah, armaments organizer is a good one. We still have 247. We're good on saving that stuff, too. More problems with our steel. Just can't win. Improved infantry equipment 2. Well, we're going to start on infantry equipment 3. By the time it finishes, we'll have switched over. Because in 75 days, we'll be done with our artillery design company. We can switch over to the infantry design company. Who knows if we're going to be at war by then. I think 75 days is probably... Yeah, you're right. The subs do need to get positioned. I do need to redo all my navy, too. So let's take a moment and do that. Get it ready. See if we're missing anything. So, Alpha Battle Force has 2 carriers, 2 battleships, 2 heavy cruisers, 5 light cruisers, and 25 destroyers. It's the best we could do. It'll move at a decent clip. It has a decent range. Because we have no old destroyers in it. We only have the new destroyers, which means it's got a max range of 2340. Okay. But Alpha Battle Group doesn't have any patrol fleets. So that's what we need to create right now. So we're going to come down here and find, let's see, probably 1 light cruiser and a couple of patrol destroyers, right? I don't think we need a lot. You think three destroyers and a cruiser for a patrol fleet? Let's start there. And for a patrol fleet, what do we have that? Probably the binoculars, right? Where are those? They have binoculars. Bingo. I don't like how dark this is. Let's whiten it up a little bit. No, that doesn't help. That's better. Oh, actually I want to use the fleet's color and change the fleet's color. This one will need to change. How about fuchsia? Slightly brighter fuchsia. Works for me. Alright, now it's not so damn hard to see. So we've got 1 patrol fleet. Let's at least get 1 other patrol fleet. So a light cruiser. And 1, 2, 3 patrol destroyers, which are designed specifically for this task. And let's try to replicate that with everything else. So we'll get a light cruiser and 1, 2, 3 patrol destroyers. And I don't even know what it made them patrol destroyers. Is it because I gave them radar and speed, I guess? 41 knots. Yeah, that's plenty good. Bravo 1. Maybe I need to have these be 4 destroyers. Just because the thing I remembered now is that I kind of anticipated them being added to the main fleet for screening. So let's make them be groups of 5. And then we've got a cruiser and, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4... And this is... And let's change the... It's so dark. Why is it so dark? There we go. So this will be... Patrol Force Bravo 2. Alright. And then we need the same thing. We're running out of cruisers here. We only got room for 1 more after this. Charlie's going to get only 1 patrol force. Because Charlie is our old and busted group. And are we producing more of these light cruisers? should be producing more light cruisers specifically for patrolling. Do I have any of those? Here it is, right? Yeah, that's a light cruiser. Apparently we're going to need a few more of those dockyards. Because we are running real short on those in comparison. We've got plenty of destroyers, actually, so maybe we back off on the destroyers. Actually, for destroyers, we aren't building any more of this type. It's just, we're only doing one type of destroyer, right? I think, two types. We're doing fleet destroyers and escort destroyers. Either one will actually work fine if we want them to be... No, we want the fleet destroyers to be our patrol. Basically. This is our patrol group. And that's good. So... Oh, that's right. We got torpedo cruisers. I don't even know... Historical... Is it a light... It's a light cruiser, right? I think it would be, yeah. We'll give it regular cruiser armor. We'll give it regular light cruiser batteries. And yeah, make it a big anti-air specialist. That's kind of cool. Dual-purpose secondaries. Definitely give them some... what do we get here? They don't need sonar. They do need radar. I'll give them fire control 1. So this is a torpedo cruiser, you say? Yasoshima? And this is like a Statue of Liberty play cruiser, so we'll give it the crab cruiser designation. And I don't know how many of these we're gonna make. We could do even more torpedo launchers. But like 129 torpedoes is kind of crazy as it is, right? Let's kind of compare this to like our other light cruiser that we have for combat in the fleet. It only has 54 torpedo attack. So sure, let's build some of these guys and we'll put them in the new modern fleet when we get the opportunity. Anyway, what we were looking at is we've got probably plenty of these options as well. No, actually we don't have quite plenty. Alright. So we've got these heavy cruisers, new heavy cruisers coming out. I need a few more of these. Right now we're producing one of these patrol light cruisers a year. That is not enough. No way is that enough. The good news is we will be getting more... because the patrol light cruisers are just easily going to die in combat. We need reserves. But as soon as these aircraft carriers are done, let's have one continuing to produce another aircraft carrier. Because we're probably going to have losses. So we're just going to set this to infinite aircraft carriers. Let's do 4. By the time we're done with 4 or 3, we're probably going to want a new aircraft carrier line. Anyway. So this is done, geez, November of 42. So that's not going to free up those dockyards for a long time. This one will free up in August of 42 because we'll have finally finished those heavy cruisers. We're going to do the same thing here. Just keep producing the heavy cruisers for reserves. We'll at least get 3 more dockyards going here. They'll be produced by the end of April, and then the whole thing will shift down. Because I was looking, there's not a lot here that I have too much of. But what I am going to do is go ahead and take all of these and all of these and split them off. So we have 27 longer range escorts, 2340. These escorts, those escorts kind of suck. They're going to be close to home only. These are our new and improved, better escorts. What do we make them look like? The heart? We'll make it be this weird thing here. Now, do we add them to the same? I don't think we do. I think we make a brand new fleet for the escorts. Because these escorts are a different range. So when you give fleet orders, for example, let's take this fleet of the older destroyers. If we give them orders like, hey, protect the convoys, we have to give it to the entire force. This is going to be the Coastal Defense Coastal Convoy Escorts. And you know what? Now that I'm looking at this, range doesn't seem to matter much. So I think we can have these guys in here. We're going to split it in half and say they should be at least 16 of these newer ones. And they should probably all have a light or heavy cruiser with them. Is this a heavy cruiser? That's a heavy cruiser. We put heavy cruisers with our... That's right, I think we did. Because we had just so many extra heavy cruisers lying around. And in this case, we still have some of those old heavy cruisers laying around. And the reason we did it is because they went really fast. So this way, if the convoys ever get attacked by enemy, like, main ships, at least they'll have a heavy cruiser with them. That was the idea, anyway. And it looks like we can do that. Nope, this one, oh boy. The Izumo is too slow. So we're going to give a heavy cruiser to this group, and we're actually going to make it 20. And then these guys are actually going to go back as reserves. So if we lose any, then we'll know. So what we have here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 task forces for defending our shipping. And if we were to do that, what do we need to do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We probably don't need to worry about shipping in here. Because, well, we'll find out, right? We'll find out. We're going to probably need another one now that I think about it. Yep, I think we do. These can be 16, and then these can also be a little less. And we'll get We've got a heavy cruiser for this one. We don't have a heavy cruiser for this one, which is disappointing, but, you know, sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. You don't always have heavy cruisers that you want. Actually, we have too many heavy cruisers in here, don't we? Are these fast enough? 25 for the Aobas. 31. Okay, yeah, let's take one of these and put it in here. Now we do have the heavy cruiser we need. Alright, so now we've got the reserve fleet, and we're ready to build out our brand new modern fleet. Which is going to be 2 aircraft carriers, the Yamato, and hopefully the other Yamato. I thought it might be out by the time war started, but March of 42, so very soon. Why did it disconnect? Oh. I see. I see the problem. We're going to turn this off for these guys. It should be automatic. See, that shouldn't kick it out anymore. Theoretically. No, why is it kicking it out? Huh. This ship I'm actually just going to retire. It's too slow. It can't do anything. We've got plenty of heavy cruisers that are better than this. So this ship here... No, not delete task force. I want to delete the ship. Where do I delete the ship from? Okay, I got to create a new task force with just the one ship and then delete it. Because that's going to be screwing everything up. Okay. So now, what do we have in the reserve fleet? We're going to theoretically have 2... I don't know why it's kicking them out, but we're just going to say, give me a heavy cruiser of this type from the reserve fleet, go. Now it's working. Go figure. Manually adding it doesn't work. Alright, so now, the Miyoko class. Do we have like an upgraded Miyoko class? I don't think so. I think it's probably too late to worry about that. Yeah, I don't think we want to refit anything here. It's just backup. Now, we still do need more of those destroyers, but those are popping out. We're getting those soon. Here, new radar technology. All motorized units. Better defense and breakthrough. Seems like a good idea. It's 42, you say. March of 42. I do think we need to get some electronics finished here. It would also give us better radar for future... Let's get the vehicle radios first. All right. We're almost done with the upgraded Zero. Yeah, four screens for every capital ship. Light cruisers also count as screens. So that's kind of where I came into this situation. These probably need... They have more capital ships. They probably need more destroyers, ideally. But just remember that the patrol fleet that finds the enemy is also going to be part of the main battle in the end. And this one just has so many capitals. But it's also not one I'm planning to have join a major battle. Probably. Okay. So, now we're in a position where we can finally create our... Ah, there it is. The Musashi. Super heavy battleship. So, we're going to... We don't have any of the heavy cruisers popped out, though, huh? We wanted a couple Haruna-class cruisers, but those aren't going to be ready for August. Until August. So, do I bring a couple of these spares? I probably bring a couple of the spares. So we'll bring the aircraft carriers, the Yamato, a light cruiser, oh, then a bunch of destroyers. And we've got this. And while we've got the Alpha, the Bravo, and the Charlie, this is the Omega battle fleet. Bingo. Omega battle force. So everything here is newer technology. But what we're missing is more light cruisers. I want at least 5, and we need a lot more destroyers before we send this thing out to really go to town. Because they've got 2, 4, 6 times 4 is 24. At least that much would be ideal. And the thing about this is it's very slow. The Yamatos are super slow. So the other part of this force was going to be some battle cruisers. I think that's the Haruna class we've got going here. Yes. And then we were also going to be building some Soyuz. That's over here. To go along with it. I know I'm building old tactical bombers because I'm researching the newest ones right now. Or did I already? Nope, I already researched it. Okay, that's what popped out. So, tactical bomber 3 should be on here. There it is. The Lily. Give it a little more range. There we go. That's probably the last tactical bomber we're going to research anytime soon. We'll hold off on that for now. We're researching this already. Oh, geez, there's another Lily we haven't done yet. Damn it. There's so many tactical bombers to research. Well, I think we're going to get back to that later. This might be the time to increase our recon. I gotta be very careful. 43 days, when this is done, I need to switch over to the infantry one before that finishes. Omega does need a commander. I'm sorry, I got distracted by these other things. So that is done, which means I can now continue working on heavy fighters. So that means Mitsubishi can move over to light aircraft designer, which improves our tactical bomber reliability and our heavy fighter range. Oh. I couldn't do that at all. Damn it, I need range focus for that. It was one or the other. So then we're going to speed up aircraft research. Yep, we got to speed this up so it's available sooner. Okay, you're right. Omega does need a name. Or a commander. And I think it's going to be this guy, who has Fly Swatter and Battleship Adherent. He's like me at my heart. Alternatively, we could go with Ironside here. Capital Ship Armor plus 10%, as opposed to Capital Ship Attack, but he's Old Guard. We don't want an Old Guard. Yeah, this is the guy. This is my guy. Cruiser Captain. Heavy cruisers and light cruisers get increased naval speed and damage. Sure. Because they are going to have a patrol group. I'm setting that up now. They're going to have 2 patrol groups. Charlie's way down here for some reason. I don't know why Charlie got moved down there. There we go. Alright, so here's our Omega Patrol Force 1. Patrol Force should probably have a better color. Or rather, the Omega Force should probably have a better color. I don't know, something like this. Yeah, sort of a brighter sky blue for how amazing they are. There we go. And then we need one more. Light cruiser, 1, 2, 3, 4. I wish there was some naming convention that made this easier. Like an automatic naming convention. Patrol Force Omega 2. Okay. So Omega's a little smaller, but it packs a much bigger punch than these other older battle groups that we have. And we're planning to add a second battle fleet here that's composed of battle cruisers, heavy cruisers, light cruisers, and destroyers that can charge into the fight first to keep it even before our main force arrives. That's not going to be available until we get the Haruna-class battle cruisers out in late 42. Oh, we got Carrier Fighter 4 available, so we've got to make that happen. Bingo. Alright. How close are we? We haven't actually looked at it in a bit. Alright, we're getting closer. Level 3 trained. As soon as those guys get to level 5, we're going to stop their training and trigger Pearl Harbor attack. It's going to be a year late. We're doing everything a year later. And it turns out all Japan should have done is wait a year. Then they would have been fine. They would have been prepared. Aha! Marine is ready. And a mountain's ready. That's weird that they did that at different rates. So the new Marine, actually, is going to be given the order to go here. Was it already on that order? I guess it was already on that order. Oh, so then who's on this one? That's only one Marine. Okay, so we need that, and we can send this guy back to that. So that's 6. This is 5. So this is 2 Marines and 3 regulars. This is 2 Marines and 3 regulars. So where am I getting an extra? That's 5. Oh, that's 6. 2 Marines and 4 regulars. Probably send this guy back as well. There we go. Oh, a new division from China. Thank you, China. Another Marine division. I think I'm going to send 5 going to Manila. Which means we're going to move him over here. And then we're going to give him a brand new plan to land just south of Manila. And then attack into Manila. So we get a second avenue of attack. And in fact, if we're going to do that, bring 3 regular guys with you. This is a dangerous, dangerous play. When you land somewhere that doesn't have a port, you cannot retreat if you fail. But I think we're in good shape. I think between this attack and this attack, we'll take Manila. I have to believe that. I just have to. So now I think we've got most... So what do we have left in here? We have a bunch of early destroyers that are going to act as reinforcements for these screen destroyers. That's good. We've got a couple of new patrol destroyers that are good for reinforcement. And we've got some sub-reinforcements. We don't have a lot of other... Like, there's very little left here for reserve. And everybody's got their commander, except the mine-laying fleet. I guess you can have somebody, though. You're gentlemanly. Gentlemanly mine-layers, sure. Now, what I'd like to do is order this all correctly. Nope, that's the Omega one. So Omega's at the top. And then Alpha's next, and then Bravo, and then Charlie, and then the interdiction fleet, then the convoy protection, and finally the mine-laying fleet. All right, we're in good shape. I feel confident. The summer offensive into the southern resource regions will be effective. Hello, Sean. We're almost out of infantry divisions. After that, what are we going to build? I don't know. Our heavy artillery requirement has also not been fulfilled. 130 more days still. Three per day. That's just not enough. How's this queue going? Oh, we're getting lots of radars done. By the end of May, we'll have a lot of extra radars out in those islands. That'll be really useful. And then we want a couple more naval bases over there so that we can repair fleets as needed. And then we've got the last couple of pieces of... Oh, that's right. We wanted to increase the infrastructure in the capital here because there were resources we were missing. Specifically that steel. Our steel imports are going to get cut off, probably. We could try importing from the Soviet Union. For some reason, it goes to the port up here instead of just going across the land border, which is insane. And if that starts getting attacked by the Americans, maybe we have to capture Alaska. You think they'll defend Alaska? I don't know about that. All right, in 5 days... we'll finally be able to switch over our materiel designer to infantry equipment. We're almost there. Level 4. Okay, we're ready to hit that button. Let's go ahead and change from construction engineering to strike the southern resource area. It looks like they just programmed in Pearl Harbor. You don't have to, like, have your forces in a particular place or anything. They're just like, yeah, Pearl Harbor happened. We struck a bunch of their stuff. Here it is. It's happening. I don't know if the AI for the United States just started flipping out because it's like, enemies are attempting to create stuff about your things. "87 days. Well, we can't do that. Island Air Force and Coastal Defense don't defend Alaska? Or you're saying the Americans won't be defending Alaska? Special Forces Supply Grace is good. Ooh, shit, we are real late on this. Let's improve our logistics companies. Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, I thought we were really good on research, and then suddenly, it's because we started so far ahead on, I think, naval research that we didn't have to do any early on. But now we're catching up. We spent all that time modernizing our Navy to 1940 standards. And, yeah, now here we are. So let's go ahead. Recon is important. River attack for engineers. Let's get recon. So now, even though our heavy artillery is way behind, we're going to upgrade it. And it's going to slow it down. But that's okay. We're changing over from Osaka Artillery Arsenal Designer to Infantry Equipment Designer. Is this the last version of infantry equipment that we're going to get? Nope, there's one more. Type 4. Infantry Equipment 4, basically. Before we have the inevitable, let's get these guys added to the Marines if we can. I don't know if they'll be able to plan fast enough, actually. Let's let them keep training. These guys, however, I do think I want to send them over to the mountain area. We've got 7 divisions now. If we send them now, they'll be able to make it. There's actually nobody on this border, though? That's interesting. Maybe we don't need the mountain divisions. Let's start setting up our Air Force for where they need to be. So the first thing that's going to be required is I need to consolidate them all, because I don't know where they all are. Is anybody else? No. Okay. I'm going to take everything that's not in an aircraft carrier and bring it all to the same place so we can see how many we have. Bring them all right here to Taiwan. We're also going to tell them all to be the correct distribution there. So obviously Taiwan's not going to keep this many planes in it, but they're just here for my organizational purposes. Is that really all we have? Seems like it should be having more than that, but it is what it is. Everybody else... Oh, Kanto is still on the way. Okay. A couple of them. So now that we've got these all here, that should be everybody. Let's see what we can also add in. Naval Bomber 1. There are no Naval Bomber 2s. So what we have out there for Naval Bombers... yeah, this is all we get. We can at least have 100 scout planes. I don't know how many of them you need, but we can have 100 of them. We just don't have a lot of reserves for the Air Force. We've got everybody out here that we can possibly get. So, that having been said, we've got a couple of air support, close air support. I'm going to want at least one of them down here assisting the Malayan Peninsula. We're also going to want at least one set of fighters down here assisting the Malayan Peninsula. And as far as fighters are concerned, I'm going to want fighter coverage over the sea areas if I can, especially the sea areas where I expect to find enemy forces, like the Gulf of Thailand seems like a decent potential possibility. And so does the South China Sea. So let's take a force, send it to the South China Sea. We can't give them missions yet, huh? Huh, that's interesting. Guess because we're not at war? Or maybe because there's so many in this one area. We have to spread them out first. Now, more air can probably go here and help in Burma. We're going to leave one here to help here. I don't think the... Yeah, we're going to need tactical bombers to help here. So where are we going to send the rest of the fighters? Here's 200 more fighters. Let's send them out to one of the important areas, like the Marshall Islands. They're going to patrol here. And we've got 200 more fighters. Apparently these guys can patrol the Philippines. See, that's a good one. And we've got 200 more fighters. They can patrol the Bismarck Sea. I think that's truck, right? One of these is truck. We've got 200 more fighters. Where do we want them? I don't think we'll need them in the Mariana region, but let's put them there for now. Let's send these out to where they're going and see what we have left. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 squadrons of tactical bombers to assign. And what about our naval bombers? Where are those at? Oh, here they are. Naval, naval, naval. Those are our 3 naval bomber groups. Oh, I sent them out as fighters. Oops. Do we have 3 naval bombers? Is that what I'm thinking of here? We have 920 naval bombers, so we should have more than 3. Crap. So there's 3. Ah, I sent naval bombers out here, which is actually fine, because I definitely wanted naval bombers out there. They are just not long enough range, though, are they? These are the early naval bombers. Max range is basically 1,000 kilometers. What are the ones we're producing now? Max range of exactly 1,000 kilometers. So, yeah, we're going to need these 1,100. That's still not great, but it's better than nothing, I guess. So, we want these naval bombers out here. We want these naval bombers right here, and we want these naval bombers right here. We got a nice trifecta of naval bomber capacity out there. Eastern Micronesia. That's the Marshall Islands? Is that what I'm thinking of here? Is this... Yeah, Marshall Islands. I think I need my other naval bombers out there, actually. As much as I'd like them around the coast, we have a lot... We're going to have a lot of naval presence here. And we'll have fighters available for that. So let's send fighters to cover this sea. And one more set of fighters to cover this sea for now. And now we got to figure out how to so tactical bombers, we're definitely going to have at least one here. Maybe... Oh, these tactical bombers suck. They barely have the range for this. Where can we put them? These ones can do it. Those first, that's the best tactical bombers we have, actually. Should probably be used to help support Borneo. And then these tactical bombers. We've already got Kaz supporting this. I think the tactical bombers should probably be set to bomb infrastructure in eastern India so that they have a harder time holding Burma. That seems like a good plan. And I've got 200 more Kaz here I don't know what to do with, but I think if I take a Philippine airfield, if they have any airfields in the Philippines, then I could redirect it there. But otherwise, I'm not sure what to do with this Kaz at the moment. I think I might leave it here in reserve. We don't have any fighters for the Philippines. That's a problem, huh? Yeah, that's a decent-sized problem. So we want naval strikes, and we want air superiority, and we want air superiority, and we want naval strikes and air superiority here. They're on the way over there. But when they get there, we want that to be a thing. These guys don't have orders. Well, they're going to want air superiority. And these guys are going to want to do close air support. I think all my tactical bombers should definitely be on close air support, except the ones that I currently have working in India. I don't have tactical bombers that can provide support all the way down to Java and Sumatra. So that's going to be tricky. We're going to have to do that without air support, because I don't even think there are any airfields down here. No. We can see there's an airfield there in Malaya. I don't see any airfields in India either. I don't know if that's something we normally can see through the fog of war. Yeah, you can see them everywhere. No, you can't see them everywhere. I guess it's only if they're close to the border. That's interesting. What did we finish on this tree? Must have been vehicle radios. So, production cost of all planes will increase, but their air superiority, interception, all their mission efficiencies go up. Sure. And heavy artillery is still the only thing that we're low on. 16,000 infantry equipment is an okay number to go to war with, but I wish it was a lot higher. I did make all of these guys stronger. Ah, they're done. They're done. They're ready. Going to turn them off so they can get their organization back. The mountain troops are here. Those guys are going to keep training. We're not training any new troops because all of our capacity is going to go into building up our reserves and attritional replacements here. This is way more tense and concerning. How do I got 200... Oh, tactical bombers, they're going there. Yeah. I knew that. Now we should probably give missions to all of our forces. We want to completely blockade everything, so here's what we need. We need to start with our subs. How many subs do we have in reserve? Not much, so we'll have to leave them there. I would like more subs being produced. Oh, yeah, I do have subs being produced. Let's bump that up a little bit more. Right now we've got 9 subs per year. We definitely need to increase that at least a little bit. our naval production is going to get reduced if we take losses. So the good news is we've got some radar out there, right? So that's been improved. Oh, they're already on tap to be built up. This should probably have its own two radar as well. So we're going to have a lot of good information going on in here. Is it really? We're only defending it with 2 divisions? It feels like it should be defended with more than 2 divisions. Computer. Heavy artillery is still behind the curve. All right. This has got 5 more days, and that is it.
Governo italiano, riconosciuta la impossibilità di continuare la impari lotta contro la soverchiante potenza avversaria.
Oh no. The United States is making far too much progress. They're going to be able to put a lot more pressure on me than they did historically. Oh boy. They switched sides again. And Germany's not doing great against the Soviet Union either. I think we're doomed in this. But we're already committed to it. So let's see if we can hold out longer than they did. That's I guess my goal. I think honestly, we might do well in India. If we can force the British Far East to collapse, that's one less front to worry about. One less front to worry about. Is that a heavy fighter there? Yeah. Let's get the next version of the heavy fighter. Screw it. Making it happen. Alright, what we didn't finish actually is naval considerations. So we want to convoy raid, and where we really want to convoy raid is to blockade the Philippines so they can't escape, one can hope. That's a good perimeter for our subs there. Now, Charlie is going to be responsible for naval invasion support here. Bravo is going to be responsible for naval invasion support here as well. Alpha is going to be responsible for naval invasion support here. Actually, no. They're going to be responsible for naval here and here. And Omega is going to be tasked with hanging out here until we figure out exactly where we want to search. Our convoy escorts are going to be escorting convoys, you bet. And we've given them already their task, it looks like. Now, why does it say low escort presence? Number of convoys escorted, recounting the same convoys in each region. Am I too far? Let's put these guys on hold. Hold on. All right. So we'll give you guys a new thing. So convoy escort. Here, 2, 3, 4. That should be fine, right? Oh, you know what? They haven't actually gone out to do it yet. That's why it's at 0%. 6%, 11%. Okay, those are going up as the convoys actually get out there. I think. 42%. Okay. One can hope this is enough. 100 ships is enough escorts. Okay, yeah, it's going up. So that's showing in the last X amount of hours. 100 available ships and 6 available task forces and escort up to 1,600 convoys or cover up to 67 regions. Okay, yeah, so you can also cover these regions then, in that case, right? All right. Gulp. Japan declared war on the United States. Admiral Yamamoto is convinced that our best chance to victory against the Americans is to destroy their aircraft carriers in a sudden and lethal attack at their main port. Pearl Harbor. Our carrier will get as close as possible to Hawaii and then several waves of attack planes. The United States gets offended. Pearl Harbor has been attacked. Tora, Tora, Tora. Naval experience. Go, go, go. Japan has attacked Pearl Harbor. Giants already woken up. They're taking over Italy. Come on now. The Island Hopping Campaign. Now, this is an interesting piece of the mod. Leapfrogging, also known as island hopping, was a military strategy employed by the Allies against the Empire of Japan. The Island Hopping Campaign, which will increase and decrease in severity depending on the control of key islands in the Pacific that were detailed in the event. But to be clear, the following islands are of vast military and strategic significance to both Guam, Midway, Wake Island, Hawaii, Palau, Iwo Jima, Saipan, Okinawa, and Taiwan. Get to work securing these islands. The balance of the war in the Pacific matters. So that is actually a... I think it's a spirit that you actually get. Maybe not. Or maybe it'll appear later. But the idea is the island hopping campaign is... Oh, is it here? Is it decision showing up in here just to see? No. So anyway, the island hopping campaign is theoretically a piece of the mod that appears, I think, as a national spirit that gives penalties or bonuses depending upon the control of those specific islands. Oh, there it is. Pacific War is stable. So if we capture one of those, then we'll get a benefit and they'll get a penalty, probably to naval combat or something, because these islands are so important and stuff. So Guam, Midway, Wake, Hawaii, those are all owned by the enemy. We own Palau, Iwo Jima, Saipan, Okinawa, and Taiwan. So Wake is one we should definitely try to invade eventually. And you know, I don't think anything could possibly go wrong if we invade Midway. And I'm surprised the Solomons aren't included in that. And Rabaul, like, why isn't Rabaul? Like, the Bismarck Islands were very important. Rabaul was a major British naval base that, when captured by the Japanese, really set them back. So, it seems to me that Rabaul should definitely have been considered in there. But that's just me. And Truk. Truk is Truk the Marshall Islands, right? It doesn't even have Truk listed. Maybe Palau? Is Palau Truk? Is that what I'm thinking of? No, Palau is way over here. That's not Truk. Truk was very important to Japan. Anyway, right now, I think... not a lot of focuses I really care about. We could increase our fort construction speed. That's actually really cool. But it lowers all the rest of our construction speed. Instead, let's get construction engineering to speed up all these other things that we're doing. All right. So everybody's got orders except the Omega Fleet. I don't have orders for them just yet. Ah! Here's our new cruisers. I think they're going into Omega for now. The United States is called the United Kingdom as our enemy. Yeah, I suppose they would, wouldn't they? So yeah, now we're at war with all of this. Although not technically at war with Australia yet, but it's going to happen. So we're going to stop it right here. And we're probably going to hit the go button on these naval invasions very shortly after. Where are our... They didn't actually make it down there fast enough. I didn't have them set up yet for support of these various amphibious invasions. All right, so let's save it so we don't get screwed like we did on that first day. Japan Stream 6. I wonder why I saved it as 4. Oh, because I never saved it. I never actually saved a 2. Okay. So thanks everybody for watching. This is Bridger signing off for today. Tomorrow we are off, but we'll be back on Monday. Happy Independence Day. We'll see you later.